Hey everybody, it's the philosopher here. It's July 1st. Can't believe it's already like 7 months into 2022. But here we are, 2 years after 2020. Today I'm going to talk about this book that I read. It was sent to me by, you can see, advanced reader copy over here from the Tuttle Twins. So if you're like me, you've gone through public school, K through 12, and the textbooks there, it was very like one-sided, and it didn't really teach the message of liberty, really. It did talk about like, hey, okay, no taxation without representation, but it didn't really like go into the philosophy of liberty if you went to public school. The textbooks there is like really more focused on the necessity, in their opinion, of government and the need for that, as opposed to being vigilant against a organization or institution that has a monopoly on violence, right? And actually like being careful to not grant it rights or powers that an individual human being would not have otherwise. So I really like this book by the Tuttle Twins. And if you have kids, or know somebody who has kids, like maybe a sister or a brother, and maybe their kid is like, I would say maybe around 10 or up or so, or 9 maybe. Just actually talking about the history, if you actually are born in America, and like what it means, and what these different things like in the Bill of Rights, like that you hear, whether it's, the right to self-defense, the right to bear arms, or freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Understanding the history of where that comes from is really fascinating. And I like how Connor Boyack and Elijah, which I did actually meet Connor at a wedding recently, so that was really cool. It was the Tom and Jenna Woods wedding. Very, very lovely. So that was cool to actually meet Connor in person. Have not met Elijah yet, but yeah. So I really enjoyed their perspective. If you read through it, and maybe I'll show some pictures. I'll find a page that I like. But I like the perspective that they share of, stopping every so often as they tell a story during this period, as you saw, 1215 to 1776, and what led up to it. They have this perspective of, hey, you can focus on the past from a lens of, demonizing somebody and saying, okay, this person was wrong, this person was right, or this was stupid and I totally would have done it this way or that way. And when you do that, you miss the other option or opportunity, which is to be more open-minded about it, about history and why people did what they did. What was the momentum of history and culture that led these people to say things like no taxation without representation, So if you read this, you'll find, for example, that it was because a lot of these people thought, government was necessary and having a king was necessary. So, a lot of these people wanted that. And it's interesting to see, like, how that sort of mindset started it all, So not everyone's perfect, and, we share this common human history, and we're all just trying to get to the truth together. So yeah. So let's look at some pages. So every so often, like in the way Tuttle Twins works, if you haven't, or works, but if you have not read Tuttle Twins before, it's really cool because they share a story from the perspective of the Tuttle Twins, which are this brother and sister. They're twins, and their last name is Tuttle, so Tuttle Twins. And so it's from their perspective as kids, going through and learning about American history. And they have their own like inner conflicts and questions about it and discoveries. And it's really, really cool to see, you know, for example, that there was like a silk trade route going through, you know, Europe to Asia, you know, and seeing how that drove, you know, trade routes and creation of trade routes, and also how wars really impeded trade and made it so that people were forced to find new pathways to trade that they otherwise wouldn't have to do, you know, that may be more inefficient and dangerous even, you know, like instead of going through Europe to Asia, now having to go around Africa to Asia, you know, that's messed up. So anyway, it's like really cool to see these descriptions of history and all that. So I guess that's my review. I mean, it's been 6 minutes, but you can see some pictures here. Let me show 1 second. So it's pretty cool. I can just turn the cam. So you have a Tuttle Twins series of stories, America's history, over here, and it's you can see these are the twins. That's their mom. And there's just like little side stuff about learning more about different characters too. And, you know, at different points, you can see like there's a thought from Elijah or a thought from Connor about, you know, different things just to think about. So you have here thought from Elijah. So it's like small discoveries can have huge results, but it's just fun. And then they have like these sections like let's talk about it. So is for it to be like interactive and something that you could talk to your kid, or if you have students or somebody you're teaching, like your sibling or something. I think this is a great book, so I highly recommend it. And we'll put a link to it down below, so just check it out. And yeah, thank you, Tuttle Twins, for sending me this copy. I enjoyed reading it front to back. And keep up the great work for Liberty. And Connor, it was fun to meet you. And Elijah, maybe we'll meet soon. All right, take care, everybody. Bye.